My name is Patrick Finley. The date is April 17th, 2023. I'm at the old historical Hanover Methodist Cemetery in Remlap, Alabama, and thought I'd take a tour today, and I'm going to scan the camera to some of the graves. You can see some of the above ground graves. A lot of my ancestors are buried here, and I'm just going to continue to scan around. It looks like they keep the cemetery up very well. And you can see Pine Mountain in the background and Highway 75. And when they laid this cemetery out, they picked a beautiful place with a view of the mountain. I'm going to continue to scan around, and this grave here is the grave of my fifth great-grandparents. This is Elizabeth Palmer. She was born in 1795 and died in 1855. And this is the grave of her husband, Solomon Palmer. He was born in 1787 and died in 1867. I've heard he was quite a character, and he was still vital at the age of 80. He got killed by a horse kick at the age of 80 in 1867. No telling how many years he could have lived if that hadn't happened. But I'm going to go to a few other graves, and I'm going to take a pause, and I'll be right back. This is a grave of my third great-grandmother's brother, James Wilson Palmer. He was born in 1826 and died in 1899. He was a well-respected school teacher. And if you ever wondered how Remlap got its name, well, it was named after James. When the railroad moved through in the 1880s, they named Palmer Station after his brother, Perry Palmer. And when they reached into Blount County, they didn't want to slight James, so they named his name backwards, Remlap. So that's how the name Remlap got its start. And there were a lot of old legends about a family feud, but that wasn't true. They just needed a name to name the area. But James's sister Nancy was my grandfather Jack Finley's great-grandmother. Their daughter Isabel Cowden was his grandmother. But I think of the history these people saw, and it's fascinating to think what all they saw in their lifetime. James's brother Solomon Palmer Jr. was Alabama Superintendent of Education. He was actually a major under General Joe Wheeler, and led the 19th Alabama Regiment for a while. I'm going to go to a couple other graves and take a pause, and I'll be right back. This is a grave of my fourth great-grandfather, Elijah Cowden. He fought in the Battle of New Orleans under General Andrew Jackson. He actually fought in standing water around New Orleans. But this is his grave. He was under Captain Patterson from November 1814 to May 1815, and he was one of the early settlers of Blount County, moved into Remlap, and a lot of the Cowdens intermarried with the Palmers. And I wouldn't hesitate to say that Elijah probably has hundreds of descendants who still live in this area, but this is his grave. And I think about how tough those old pioneers must have been, and Elijah had quite a few children. But anyway, this is his grave, and I'm going to take a pause and go to a couple other graves, and I'll be right back. This is a grave of Wilson C. Cowden. He was born in 1816 and died in 1888, and he was my third great-grandfather. And this is his wife, Nancy Palmer Cowden. She was born in 1839 and died in 1862. They lost a lot of relatives in the Civil War, including children, but most all of these in this area of the cemetery are either Cowdens or Palmers, and I'm sure hundreds of people in this area are descended from these families. But I'm going to scan around a few more times, and if you love history, try and visit this cemetery one day. Blount County does have some of the older cemeteries in Alabama, and it's fascinating to see the old names and wonder about what lives they lived. But so I hope you enjoyed this video today, and thank you. Bye-bye.